All right. Hey, Homer.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Sean, how you doing, man?
Back at home. We're in the house here, man. So tonight we're doing a final episode of Skype for everybody out there. And we just wanted to say thanks for all the views, for everybody subscribing, Homer.
Yeah.
And if you're new to the show, just click the subscribe, ring the bell, and we sure appreciate it. So Homer, you were supposed to do a gig tonight, right, buddy?
Yes, at Los Cabos. It's a Mexican restaurant here in town, and their nickname is Los Cancel Us because it happens all the time. Because, I mean, you know, it's an outdoor gig, and Oklahoma this time of year, it's usually raining. So pretty much if you get booked for Los Cabos early in the season, you're probably gonna get canceled. Or if it's too cold, like it got to be, it's probably 60 degrees outside, and usually they don't like bands to play unless it's about 70.
Yeah, I was invited. I was going to come out and record you guys tonight, and then I was also invited to the FC Tulsa game tonight because it's military night.
Oh.
And that was supposed to be the cheap seats outside in the grass.
Oh.
Yeah, with 26 mile an hour wind, 59 degrees raining. Not my kind of fun right now, and I'm not feeling good. For those listening, you can hear my voice a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
A little rough right now, but all right. So Homer, we had a poll this week.
Yes.
On our community. So let me just educate the viewers. Anybody that's been watching the show, if you go on our YouTube page and you look across for the community tab, you'll see that there's polls that we're posting a lot, wanting to get you guys' opinions about stuff. And, you know, it's really fun. And this week was a hot topic, Homer.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Van Halen.
So it was. So if you go on there and look at it, get it on there, give your, and we'll see the, so the three are for Van Halen, do like classic R, which is Lady Roth. Mm-hmm. Wow, man. The option is Van Hagar with Sammy Hagar. The third option, which a lot of people don't even recognize, hardcore Van Halen fans don't even recognize it, which is with Gary Cherone, but it was a real part of the band, right? It was Van Halen 3.
Yep. Gary Cherone, he was only on that one album, was he?
Yes, sir.
And I remember watching a live performance of them on it's probably MTV or something back in the day, and it was just a little weird. Gary Cherone is great, and he was great with Extreme, but I just remember it was, I don't know, he was closer to David Lee Roth, like in the flamboyancy.
Jumping around. And now Nuno Betancourt's done that whole solo thing that's been lighting up YouTube and Instagram and all that. And they're referring to him possibly as like the new Van Halen in a way. Nuno Betancourt being the guitarist for Extreme, which is the band that Gary Cherone, as we all know, was lead singer for forever, for the last 30 years basically, other than his little Van Halen stint, you know. Right. But so let's take a minute and break some of this down for a second. So those of you that watched our other Skype episode about cassette tapes, Homer took his cassette tapes and listed them just alphabetical order. Right? Yeah. I did genres with my cassette tapes, and then in the genre I listed alphabetical order, right?
Yeah.
So my point is when I first got into Van Halen, it was 1984 was the album, and that was under my classic rock section.
Right.
So I had my Bad Companies, and I had my Foreigners, and I had 1984. Mm-hmm. Later, when I got into Van Halen again, it was 5150.
Yeah.
With Sammy Hagar. I put that one in my rock section under Journey and Toto and all that stuff because the development of Van Halen and the production and the recording aspects of that album had a different flavor to it with Sammy. So why don't you talk about that for a minute and give your opinion? So to me, I liked 1984 on one hand, and then I liked 5150 in a different category, actually.
So Okay, my thoughts on Van Halen. When it was David Lee Roth, a lot of the really good guitar heavy songs were from the David Lee Roth era, if you ask me.
Correct.
And then it was almost as if Eddie kind of developed more as a total package musician, and most of his really good songs that he wrote with Hagar were all keyboard. Like When It's Love, that was one of my favorites off of OU8 When 2.
Yeah.
The Love Comes Walking In on 5150. Those are really, it's keyboard. Like it's mainly keys. And he was a heck of a writer on both instruments. But I would say with Hagar, it was most of his really good writing was on the keys. Now on OU812, there's like what was it? Cabo Wabo. To me, that's just a kick butt, simple power chord rock song, and that was with Hagar. And that was an awesome song. And obviously Hagar really likes Cabo a bunch. You know, he's bought
We all know.
Yeah, he bought into that area. Really.
Yeah,
really,
he's
why not?
like, isn't he like president of Cabo or something?
I don't even know. He may be the leader of Cabo.
Yeah.
But, and then he's got is it tequila? Yeah, he's got a tequila brand called Cabo. Is it Cabo Wabo? Is that what is?
I'm not a tequila guy, so it's something of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember he has that. But anyway, I personally, even though I'm a guitar player, I personally really liked the Hagar era a lot more. The songwriting and stuff was, to me, a little bit better. You know, I really enjoyed the early days. I think it's also just when you break it all down, I was much more of a fan of Sammy's voice than David Lee Roth's voice. I just never really dug his voice very much, you know. And I feel bad saying that, but I liked Eddie through all of it. Eddie was, you know, the main part. Now, I mean, I didn't really listen to Hagar when it was just Hagar. You know, everybody's heard Can't Drive 55. Now he probably needs to rewrite that song and update the speed limit a little bit. But Hagar was, and wasn't he in Montrose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was Montrose, and then he had the band with Neil Sean. It was Hagar, Sean, and a couple other guys. So there was
I don't think I ever
Hagar's.
heard that one.
Yeah, they had a couple albums with Sammy Hagar and Neil Sean, because I was a Journey fan, so anything Neil Sean was a part of, I tried to grab. And also now Full Circle, right, with the bassist from Van Halen and Hagar. He's been out for years. Yeah, Michael Anthony and them guys, they've been jamming for a while. But as a Hagar fan, yeah. So for me, you mentioned Cabo, right? The song Cabo, Cabo Wabo, right? That brings up a good point. So there's always this on cassette tapes in the CD era. You listen to the whole CD, you listen to the whole cassette, and you find songs that you really identify with and like better maybe than the hits. So for me, it was actually the song 5150, the song itself.
Yeah.
That I was addicted to, like that particular song, and it was the drumming. Alex got me on that song.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anybody out there hasn't heard it? I recommend just going on the Spotify or whatever streaming platform you use, Apple Music, whatever, YouTube Music, and try the 5150 song and focus if you can in on the drums. It's unbelievable. So Eddie gets all the glory normally, but Alex, that song, this drumming in that song, to me, just gave me goosebumps even to this day. And the production level on 5150 and all that was, to me, a lot more thorough.
Mm-hmm.
But back to 1984 real quick before we switch subjects. But 1984 to me was, get you out of your seat. That whole album, man, just get you out of your seat, and you start playing air guitar and Hot for the Teacher and Panama. I mean, oh my goodness.
I mean, Hot for Teacher's one of the better guitar written songs ever.
And the drumming, right?
Oh yeah.
Hot for Teacher.
Yeah, the drumming was great. Yeah, I was actually going to mention that when you were talking about Alex Van Halen. I mean, the guitar part is ridiculous on Hot for Teacher, but the freaking drums are too. It sounds like a Harley, you know?
Yeah, it's so cool. And then what was it, Panama? You know, everybody knows the story about him pulling up his Ferrari. His Ferrari was it Panama? They pulled up his Ferrari and they mic'd the exhaust for the part where there's like a engine kind of revving. That's actually Eddie Van Halen's Ferrari. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Oh yeah, that's a huge story. It's out there, and it was on MTV News back in the day, and so it's the part I believe in Panama where I want to say in the beginning of the song, or maybe it was in the middle. I haven't listened in a while, but yeah, they mic'd Eddie Van Halen's Ferrari. They actually pulled it up, mic'd the exhaust, and just revving it, and they got it. So anyways, it's in the song. So come on, I mean, that's pretty creative. I think they were super creative back with like 1984. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's almost like when Sammy joined, it was like two separate bands kind of.
Right.
And I know I'm kind of sitting on a fence and not picking one or the other in a way, because I just think 84 to me was amazing. And then 5150 was just a different band. But as far as like sitting around with my friends or at a party or something, a lot of times 5150 we played a lot more, I think, in the long run.
Yeah.
You know?
It had some great songs, man. Love Comes Walking In, and what was it? The best of both worlds or whatever.
Summer Nights, Best of Both
That was another good one too.
Yeah.
Plus, I had that Live Without a Net, that
yes, video
VHS tape. Yeah, VHS. And that was one of the first times I actually saw Van Halen play, because I could just sit there and watch it over and over again. It was awesome.
Yeah, me too. And the other thing I want to bring up is another tidbit is on the album Can't Stop Loving You. It had the picture of the twins kind of on the front.
Yeah.
There's a song in there called Deja Vu. Take Me Back, Deja Vu. I highly recommend people checking that song out. That's another tidbit song that it wasn't a big hit, but to me it was a good song. So there's always, Van Halen's is such a good band that even their bad songs could have been hits for other bands.
Oh, for sure.
Am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you could have taken that 5150 Deja Vu, and if that was a different band, they would have been in the top 10 with it. So our topic of the night, but I'm going to tease the poll for next week. The poll for next week is who had the best first album? Was it Van Halen or Guns N' Roses? And don't answer.
No,
that's for next week. That's for next week. So just think about that. Everybody listen. Everybody watch the show.
I'll tell you.
So Van Halen. So Van Halen number 1. Or Guns N' Roses' first album, Appetite for Destruction, right? So which one had the better debut, man? So that's going to be the poll for next week. Woo! So I'm looking forward to hearing some comments already.
Yeah.
On the poll.